Why we decided to start homeschooling and knowing your why. Let's talk about it. Hi everyone. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, hi, welcome. I'm so happy you are here. My name is Sydney and I am a working homeschool mom. I have two children. I have a 6-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son. We just wrapped up our first year of homeschooling and it's been the best thing I have ever done. I'm going to be talking to you today about why we homeschool. Why did we choose this path? And why do you need to know your why? I know it's a lot of whys, but this idea, this concept, this thought process is so important to your homeschooling journey, and it can totally save you and your homeschooling and all of it. So we're gonna talk about it today. I'm gonna break it down for you. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about what do I mean when I say you need to know your why. What that means is you need to have a concrete answer as to why you're choosing home education. Why are you choosing to homeschool? Because this is why you need to know. This route isn't always the easiest route, and you're gonna have people ask you like, why are you guys homeschooling? Why would you choose that? Why would anyone want that for their family? Isn't it easier to just send your kids to school? Blah, blah, blah. We've all heard it. And you also need to know your why for when those moments get really hard with parenting, with homeschooling, because it's all in one, right? Like, homeschooling and parenting are the same. Homeschooling is just parenting at the end of the day. And knowing your why will just help you to have like sanity and clarity, and it'll help you to get through your days like a little bit smoother. Here is what I would recommend. When you decide, you know what, I think we want to homeschool, the next step you really need to take is you need to sit down, grab a piece of paper, write it in your computer, however you like to jot things down. I have it written out physically on a piece of paper. Why are you deciding to homeschool? Why do you want this for your family? What are your reasons? And it might sound silly to write this down and to have like a physical reason why you're choosing to homeschool, but listen, it's really important. And it is what you will go back to time and time again when people question you, when the hard days come, when you see the school bus driving down the road and you think, oh, am I doing the wrong thing? I have referred back to my why so many times. I can't even tell you, especially in the beginning, especially when I first started homeschooling, when I first started telling people and I could just feel the looks. I could feel people thought I was crazy. They didn't understand why anyone would want to homeschool. Homeschooling's weird, right? Homeschoolers are unsocialized, like all of the stigmas. And it really helped me when I sat down and I learned, wow, I've got to like actually write my why onto some paper. Figure out what your why is and write it down. I'm gonna give you some examples and I'm gonna tell you why I chose homeschooling. You guys, this was such a hard decision for me, and I have talked about this in so many videos. Go watch any of my past videos. You will know I was terrified, scared to my core to start homeschooling. And now that like I'm on the other side of the coin and I've been doing it for over a year, I no longer have fear. I'm no longer scared. I no longer question my decision at all. I never thought I could get to this point, but I want you to know if you're in the trenches of it, you're in the beginning, you're in that like going back and forth stage in your brain, which is just so exhausting. I know I'm a way overthinker. I am someone who really sits in their thoughts and like tries to figure things out. I'm a deep thinker, and I know how I know how much you're struggling with this, okay? Like, I just want you to know you're not alone. My heart is with you if you are in the beginning and you keep doubting yourself, questioning yourself, wondering if you're doing the right thing, because it's hard to make a decision like this. It's a huge decision, right? It's a huge, huge, huge responsibility that no loving, motivated parent takes lightly. We are choosing to take on our children's education, and it's a really big responsibility. But it is our responsibility. And I think once you start to look at home education with that viewpoint of, I'm just being a parent, like homeschooling is parenting. I'm just teaching my children how to read, like teaching them how to do math. And that is already a parent's responsibility. Your child's education is already your responsibility. I know how scary it can be in the beginning though. And now that I'm on the other side, I have just realized how valuable it was and still is to really sit down in the beginning and figure out your why, because you're going to keep going back to it. There are so many reasons why me and my husband chose homeschooling for our children, but I'm gonna kind of like go through them and break them down for you. These aren't gonna go in any particular order. There's not one that's really more important than the other. They're all really important. They're all at the top of the list for me. And I feel like I have a lot of reasons why. Some people only have like one reason, maybe two. Maybe their kids went to school and they were bullied, so that's their reason to homeschool. I mean, every family is so different, and everyone's why is completely different. One of my first whys is I really wanted more freedom and flexibility. What I mean by that is I wanted the ability to just like be able to go on a family vacation with my kids if I wanted to, and not have to go to the school, fill out a form, let a teacher know we're gonna be gone for so much time, see if they can send us with any work to take. That was so my childhood, and it didn't work. My teacher would send us with stuff on vacations. I never did it. I was a child on vacation, and it's just like, whose business is that? Like, I don't know. Now that like I'm so, into homeschooling and all of this, I'm like, that is my child. I am allowed to take my child on a vacation if I want to. Like, I didn't want to have to answer to anyone. I didn't want a school district, the government, whoever telling me that I can't take my child on vacation because they have to be in school. And I just didn't want to live like that. I really wanted freedom and flexibility to be able to travel, for my kids to have lots of time with their family, with their grandparents, with their aunt, uncle, cousins, all of it. Like, these are the real life things that are so important and that really make a human become like a human, like it's like I'm growing a human being here. I'm not growing a machine or a robot or someone to just like know all these facts and be sent to work. That's not who I'm raising. I am raising human beings that are real people that I want to have really valuable life skills. So that was one of my huge reasons. And when I say me, I'm referring to me and my husband. That was one of our first big reasons, was freedom and flexibility. Another reason we chose homeschooling is I wanted my kids to have more family time. I wanted our family to be able to grow closer. I wanted to have Bible be a part of what we study. We are Christian faith, and I wanted learning the Bible, reading the Bible to be a pretty big part of our home education. That's not something that I grew up in. I grew up like kind of, I don't know if I'd say I grew up religious. I grew up in the LDS church, and my parents are like pretty, like sometimes we went, sometimes we didn't. But I really regret like not being able to study the Bible as a child, because I'm no longer a part of the LDS church, and I've never sat down and read the entire Bible as an adult. And I'm like, wow, like I can do that now with my kids, through my kids. And Like, that's such a beautiful thing. So that's a huge reason as to why we chose homeschooling. I wanted my children to have healthier social interactions. And you might be thinking, that's crazy. Homeschoolers aren't socialized. How could they have healthier social interactions? And the truth is sending your children to school isn't socializing. That is taking a lot of children, putting them into a room together and forcing them to be together and telling them to be quiet when they want to socialize. And that is just not natural socialization. And that's not what I wanted for my children. I wanted them to have really healthy social interactions. Another huge reason why we chose homeschooling was the ability to offer our children a one-on-one education. I wanted to be able to cater to my children's needs, to be able to work at their pace, and to be able to slow down if we needed to, or speed up if they were ahead and really understanding something. When you send your children to school, that's just not even a possibility. And a lot of times they just get pushed up to the next grade level without comprehending something. And I really just didn't want my children to have to go through that. I kind of went through a lot of that when I was in school, more so like junior high, high school especially. I just kept pushing up on grade levels, and I really struggled with math specifically. And I just could never catch up because I was missing so many key foundation points. And I just didn't want that for my kids. I really wanted to be able to offer them this one-on-one education that is truly only possible through homeschooling, and where you have the ability to work at that particular child's pace and to focus on what they're really interested in. And the ability to like put that into your homeschooling is so cool, and it's so wonderful to see. And that is also a huge reason why we chose homeschooling. I feel like the list could go on and on for my reasons for choosing to home educate. But lastly, I really wanted the ability to be able to like cherish our children's childhoods. I wanted to be able to allow my children to be children. Like, you only have such a short amount of time in your life to actually be a child and enjoy childhood without the pressures of all the things that we deal with as adults. And I wanted my children to have that. I didn't want them to be sitting at school, sitting at a desk for 6-7 hours a day. I wanted my children to really have tons of playtime, free time, and that is really only possible with home education as well, because a one-on-one education takes such a short amount of time compared to sending your children to school. So I just wanted to be able to cherish their childhoods and let them enjoy it and just really be able to soak it in. I only get this one shot, I only get this one time with them while they are children, and I just wanted to make the most of it. I wanted it to be the best possible childhood for my kids, and I found that that was possible through home education. There are so many reasons why people choose this path, and I know it can be really hard to understand when you're on the other side and maybe you send your children to school or you just can't see the pros of homeschooling. But the pros so outweigh any like little con there might be, which for me, like, I honestly can't really think of any cons with home education, except for maybe like your house might be a little bit more messy because your kids are home with you, but like that is how it should be. I want my kids to be home with me. Like, I want to be able to have this time with them. Like I said, it's so valuable and it's so short, and it's the only chance I get. This is the only time I get with them while they're children, and I want to be able to cherish it with them. Your why and your reasons for choosing homeschooling can vary, and they might be so different from mine. I know a lot of people choose homeschooling because their children were in the system and they really struggled. Maybe they dealt with bullying, maybe they were struggling academically and they were just like falling through the cracks, like I said, and the school just keeps pushing them forward until it gets like pretty late. Like your children might be in like 6th grade and you realize like they are reading at like a second grade level. I hear of that happening all the time, and parents will pull them out, start homeschooling them, and they catch up so fast because of the one-on-one education. But there are just so many reasons. And sit down, write it out, figure out what your why is, and it is what you will just go back to and refer to time and time again. It's really important to know why you are choosing to homeschool. So if you are a homeschool mom out there, or you're thinking about homeschooling, what are your reasons? What is your why? I would absolutely love to know. Leave it in the comments below. Why are you choosing homeschooling? Why are you looking into it? Why are you thinking about it? All of it. I would really love to know. I know that choosing this path can feel so lonely sometimes. Sometimes it can feel like you are the only person in the world who is choosing to home educate your children. But trust me, believe me, you are not. There are so many of us out there. It's just that not a lot of people are talking about it. And it makes sense. It's like when your children are in school, not a lot of people are talking about that either. There's so many people that are homeschooling. And once you get your footing, you will just realize like there really is no better option. I cannot see a better option, and I want you to know you are not alone. I am right here for you. I don't want you to feel lonely, because I have felt that way so many times, and you're not alone. We are in this together. I'm right here for you. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos. Leave me comments below. It makes my day, and I just love building this community with you. It makes me so, so happy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.